This is the most magnificent discarded living room set I've ever seen.
What's the most boring part of your commute?
Near misses.
Zero self-confidence.
Just tall enough to rip the entire bottom off of the car's transmission.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Comedy Parenting Radio, the show that knows throngs of toes.
Those toes belong to Bruce Willis.
Well, they travel well.
I recognize those toes. They come from a millipede. Today, we're going to be talking about commuting.
Hopefully we don't crash the show while commuting.
Hey, Dad, how are you doing?
I've got organic pancake syrup all over my chin and my neck from the pancakes this morning. It's kind of nasty.
Maybe if you'd actually worn your napkin, tucked it in your shirt like you were supposed to.
Well, I put a turtleneck on to cover it up, and it just feels terrible.
Oh, no.
I'd like to point out that a napkin only covers below the neck, and he specifically said the neck.
Oh, yeah? Well, Elijah, how are you doing?
Am I legally obligated?
Yes.
Where in my contract does it say that?
Right here, buddy.
Tell us about your cowboy boots, Elijah.
J.B. Weld works wonders for a falling apart cowboy boot.
Is that so?
I think those boots are a little bit past J.B. Weld, mate.
Maybe some Sculpey covered with J.B. Weld.
J.B. Weld can fix literally anything.
J.B. Weld fixed my marriage.
If you wear those boots any longer, they're going to be sandals.
Josiah, how are you doing?
I am not legally bound to tell you. I'm like Elijah. I did not sign the contract.
Yeah, but we can tickle you or pinch you.
I'm fine. Agree.
Courtney, how are you doing?
I'm feeling so fantastic. I'm like number 2 of the Fantastic Four.
So, you're the invisible woman, huh?
That's why you guys never see me.
Hey, Caleb.
Yes, sir.
You are a traveler that we picked up off the streets, yes?
Yes, sir.
You are here under duress?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Comedy Parenting Comedy Parenting Radio will be right back after these messages.
This is a lot more fun on this side of the microphone.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I don't know how to talk like a parent. Don't make me come back there. You see what I mean? It's pretty awful. Try it again. Don't make me come back there. Now that's pretty good. That one kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is Habs Johnson.
This is Yuri Komka.
This is Shirley.
And you're listening to Comedy Parenting Radio.
I don't know about that, Shirley.
We're back with Comedy Parenting Radio, and we're talking about commuting.
My commute to the studio was over 6 miles.
Took you 3 hours.
Some people may say that they've traveled over 1 billion miles to get here.
Without leaving their home.
I mean, technically, the Earth.
I feel like a postage stamp.
You get steamed every so often so that people don't have to pay for you twice.
I take a licking and keep on ticking.
I see.
Just a discretion. Joshua's commute was to be the head person of the show this week.
You have no idea how many people's shoelaces I had to tie together just so that they couldn't make it and I'd be here.
Wait, Dad's wearing flip-flops.
And I still couldn't make it.
Commuting. We do it. We like it. We don't like it. Do we like it?
No.
Depends on what day it is.
Oh,
If
really?
you don't have to go to work, it's fine.
How does the day affect it?
Well, yeah, like if it's the day that you don't have to go to work, commuting's just fine. That's a short trip. But if it's going to work, it depends on how late you woke up, I suppose.
Wouldn't also how late or early wake up affect how well you commute?
Yes.
I like to shave it really, really close.
I can see that on your face. You're missing. For you folks in Radioland that can't see, he's missing his entire first layer of skin.
Hey, Courtney, tell us about when you were too late for work recently. Because you woke up when you were supposed to be there.
Which time?
Like the last 3 times last week.
I'd say you invest in an alarm clock, but you already have one, so.
Yeah, I like to see how much my gas pedal can work for me. I like to
Wow.
imagine I teleport.
When I shave it really, really close, you have to understand that I'm commuting anywhere from 1 hour to 1.5 hours to work.
Indeed.
And I have these places where I go by driving that I know how much longer it takes to get to everywhere else. And I'm like right smack on time, and I'm going to get to work like within the minute. And there's Winnebago in front of me.
Oh, that's funny. I had a Winnebago it wasn't a Winnebago. It was a van. It was one of those large travel vans. I had it in front of me on my way into work last time I went into work. And the road that I go in is not a road that you'd usually take that sort of vehicle on. So there was actually that and then a Jeep.
That's because it's a Jeep road.
It is a Jeep road, so I have no idea why they were going back there with a travel van.
I mean, I've seen RVs in places that you don't want to know.
Simple solution. 0 self-confidence.
What?
Oh.
That'll solve bad drivers every time.
They just stay home.
I'm not sure if I can hang onto the steering wheel that long.
Dad, do you have stories that jingle, jangle, jingle?
One of my favorite commutes.
Yes.
We used to live on a horse ranch that bordered a ski area, and I used to put on skis, and I used to ski up through the ranch to the top of the ski area and then ski down to work.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Was there ever anything unusual?
No, it was pretty standard stuff, but one time I wore all white snow camo.
Oh.
They never saw you coming.
They didn't, and I heard a snowmobile come by on the ski area, and so I pulled over on the side as I skied down, and a ski patroller went zooming by, stopped about a half mile away, turned around, came back, and said, "I almost didn't see you." Like, oh, okay.
But you saw him?
Her.
Courtney,
Yes.
you've had some incidents when commuting.
Incidents while commuting. I don't know what you're insinuating.
You know exactly what I'm insinuating.
I don't really actually.
Stuff about run over posts. You didn't even commute that far.
Oh, yeah.
20 feet.
It happened to be one of those times. When I was running late, and it was very early in the morning, and I tried backing my truck out of our driveway, and I couldn't really see because it was so dark out, and I almost backed completely over the edge.
She went over a post somehow without hearing it, and put her back wheel and her front, just her entire right side, almost all the way over the edge.
It was very scary. I didn't want to get out of my truck. I'm sitting there at, 4 o'clock in the morning, just laying on the horn, hoping Dad could come out and save me.
She felt like she was in, Jurassic Park 2, where they're balancing in the shipping crate thingy. Don't move. Gravity is based on movement. It can't affect you if you don't move.
I'm thinking more like she was Nedry.
Caleb, you ever had any incidents while commuting?
I have a very long commute now.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. How long is that commute?
It's about an hour and a half. I wake up, takes me about 5 minutes to walk to the kitchen. Then I eat breakfast for about an hour and a half. Then I go to work.
The only thing better than telecommuting is Teletubbies.
What?
Oh, because you're working from home, aren't you?
I am working from home, yes.
He's working from home. This dude we pulled off the streets is working from home.
I'll read you loud and clear. 10-4. You got the one snowman. I'm eastbound and down.
Eastbound and down, load it up and truck it. Are we gonna do what they say can't be done? We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound, just watch old bandit run.
You gotta take care of Texas, it's the only one we got. If you're way up in Lubbock or down in Lukenbach, gotta conserve water, keep the air clean. Take care of Texas, don't you know what I mean, y'all? Kevin Fowler here. Texas has clean air, rivers, and lakes, so let's get outdoors and enjoy them. Visit TakeCareOfTexas.org, pledge to help keep it that way, and we'll mail you a free Texas State Park guide. Take care of Texas, it's the only one we got.
Sponsored by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality in Texas Parks and Wildlife.
All right. For $1 million and a free trip to Goshen, Indiana, what do the letters CPR stand for?
cardio, pulmonary, resuscitation.
So sorry. They stand for Comedy Parenting Radio.
One time, Caleb and I were driving back home in the evening, and there was a huge mud flow across the road, and cars lined up, and I kind of saw cars coming through the mud flow from the other side. So what did I have you do, Caleb, or what did I ask you to do?
I ran out there and was like, oh, let's see how deep the mud is. It was probably about a foot or so deep, so I was like, yeah, we can get through that. Weren't any big rocks or anything like that. So
foot deep of mud.
Yeah. So we got in the little Subaru and just floored it and drove and up and over and made it through. Made it home.
Well, obviously you made it home because you're here now, but...
We're bouncing over rocks in the car, and I said, Caleb, tell me if I can make it through. And he said, I knew you could make it through, rocks or no rocks.
as long as you can get up and over it.
Well, we did gut our car on a rock one time.
Yeah, that was when there was no mudslide.
That was when there was no mudslide, so the no mudslide rocks are oftentimes the most dangerous.
There was a single lone rock just sitting there.
I was kind of happy sitting there.
Yeah. Just tall enough to rip the entire bottom off of the car's
About a bowling ball size.
Yep. And we had, all 5 people, maybe even 6 people in the car, even though it was a 5-person car.
And when we hit it, we went to space.
Sort of. It just kept the car down and sort of held it down to the grindstone as it goes across. It was very brutal.
Well, when we hit it, we bounced, we hit our heads and saw stars, so I would count that as going to space.
And I looked at my rearview mirror, and the rock is just bouncing wildly out the back of my car. And there's a vehicle behind me, and I was hoping that it wouldn't hit him, and it didn't. It kind of rolled off to the side or bounced off the side.
And needless to say, after that, there was no oil in the car's engine anymore. So we had to pull over and... got to ride back into town.
And the guy that was behind us said, yeah, there were sparks coming off the bottom of your car when you did that. One time I was driving to work, and we live on a road that's a county road and doesn't get plowed by the county, and so I hit a snowbank that went over the top of the car. Got out, dug for about 15 minutes. The snow, by the way, the snow was about 16 inches deep on the road, and I had tire chains on. And as I drive, the snow is going over the hood and over the windshield and over the top of the car, so I'm looking out the side of the car, trying to figure out where I am on the road and not go over the cliff. Got stuck, made it out, made it to work.
Hey, Dad, what about ghosts in the morning? Why do you see ghosts in the morning?
So one of my favorite traditions is to set my cup of coffee on the dashboard as I turn the vehicle on, and it steams up the windshield, and take the coffee down and spill it all over my lap. But before I do that, I draw a little picture of a ghost on the steam.
And what does that indicate?
A happy little ghost going to ride with me to work.
And
it's also going to destroy all my Legos inside of the car.
The seeing of ghosts actually indicates 3 hours of sleep.
Dad and Caleb, you two have carpooled together, right?
Yeah, that was an interesting summer.
Yep.
He had the little Zio, which is a little beater.
It was a car we got for $1.
Yeah, it's a little Toyota Camry type thing.
It was about the third car we got for $1.
Probably 1998 Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
297,000 miles on it.
The lady said, we don't think it's going to go anywhere, but if it works, it works.
It worked for the summer. And so we had to carpool, and the problem was that Dad and I had kind of irregular schedules. And when they did not line up, it was pretty awful.
Boy, did they not line up.
I had to be in Glenwood usually at 6 a.m. for my job.
Mm-hmm.
Dad had to be in Glenwood on some times at 3 p.m.
8 o'clock or in the evening sometime.
Yeah, 3 p.m. Usually till 9 p.m.
Till 9
Oh, yeah,
p.m.
till 9 for sure.
Which meant that one was always waiting on the other at some point.
That's about a 15-hour day plus the time it takes to drive there. That's 16, carry the one. 17 hours.
So those are pretty brutal days.
And now, even though you and I work at the same place and we have offset hours by like 2 hours, we're like, ugh, I don't want to commute with you.
I learned from Caleb, I don't want to commute 40 miles with you and wait for 2 hours for you to get off work.
And they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Dad, is your commute now so boring that you wish Bad things would happen just to make it interesting?
Yes. I'm looking for bad things every day now.
What's the most boring part of your commute?
Near misses.
That's the most boring part of your commute. What is your commute like then?
It's like I get in the car, spill coffee, look at the ghost, back out of there, hit the dirt on the other side, then hit the rock in front of me, then I go down the bumpy road, and then the heater warms up after about 20 minutes, and then I can start seeing out of the defrosted windshield, and I get out, and cars are sliding around in front of me, and sometimes they're in the ditch, and I wave as I go by as long as they're okay, and then I get to work and do work and come back, and it's like the reverse of that without the ghost.
So it's like walking up hills both ways in the snow.
Actually, no one in the radio land is going to believe me, but I do have to go uphill both ways. Because I come down off a mountain, go across the Canyon's flats, then go up a mountain. Then come down off a mountain, go across the Canyon's flats, then go up a mountain.
Oddly enough, for both of the jobs you hold.
Yeah, summer job and winter job. I feel like a gerbil in a cage on a wheel.
There's sometimes when commuting in the morning, very early in the morning, when you're just driving, focused on getting there, and from about, I'm going to say 10 miles from when you start driving till about 20 to 30 miles when you start driving, 10 miles there just like completely disappears. You have no idea what happened to that time.
When I would commute, there were times that I would wake up 45 minutes into the commute and be like, guess I'm here.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
I have entire sections of my life where they rewind the film and look at it, and there's like this blank thing of like 45 minutes.
Well, if you hadn't swallowed those magnets.
Well, recently I had I was supposed to go help with drywall, and I had no idea if anyone was going to pick me up, so I got my bicycle and I rode 10 miles to the site, which 10 miles isn't bad, but here in Colorado, there are mountains literally everywhere, so I had to go up a, not super steep, but it was a steep road for maybe 5 miles, and by the end, I pretty much just wanted to lay down and take a nap for 3 hours before I start work.
This has been Comedy Parenting Radio. Folks around here are getting antsy to get off to work, so we will be shutting this down now and all hopping on our cars and pedaling out of here. Thank you all for coming in the studio.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And as you go, do not forget your wallet, keys, phone, and dog.
And ghost.
Do the Macarena.
We'll see you all folks later. Bye-bye.